Let's talk about the vest's knotting and crochet sequence first. The entire vest consists of the front body, back body, neckline, cuffs, and hem. Start by crocheting the back body, then the front body. Both the back body and front body are crocheted back and forth. The wrong side faces out on the first row. On the second row with flowers, the right side faces out. We consider the first row with the wrong side facing out. And all flower rows with the right side facing out as the right side of the garment. Both front and back bodies are the same, with the right side always facing outward. During the process of crocheting the front body after finishing the back body, it will be joined to the back body at the shoulders. After completing the shoulder connections, proceed to connect under the arms. Once all connections are done, start crocheting the neckline. After finishing the neckline, crochet both cuffs. Once the cuffs are completed, finally crochet the hem. The neckline, cuffs, and hem are all crocheted in rounds without going back and forth, with the right side facing out. The pattern distribution and row count vary for each size. Patterns are adjusted by increasing or decreasing the number of chain stitches between them to maintain stitch count. This ensures the overall effect remains consistent. All of this is shown in the chart, which will be explained later. If you're not yet comfortable reading the chart, watch my full explanation first, then refer to the pattern while crocheting. Here I'll demonstrate the crocheting method using a swatch with random yarn colors and stitch counts. Please refer to your specific chart for details. Let's start with the back body. Take the yarn color corresponding to the starting chain. Make a slip knot. Then begin crocheting chain stitches, yarn over. Drawing through creates a chain stitch. Let me demonstrate again. Yarn over, draw through. First, follow the corresponding chart for the required amount. Crochet a chain stitch loop, and once completed, make 2 additional chains as the turning chain for the first row. This turning chain does not count as a stitch, and it will be the same for all subsequent rows. Every row starts with 2 chains, the turning chain never counts as a stitch. This won't be repeated from now on. Then begin working double crochets, yarn over. On the third to last stitch, pick up the front loop only and pull the yarn through. Then work a double crochet. Let me demonstrate again. Yarn over, pick up the front loop of the adjacent stitch. Yarn over again, and pull through. Yarn over once more to pull the loop through, completing a double crochet. For the first row, work into each stitch corresponding to the front loops only. Color change is needed in the middle. The first color matches the starting chain yarn tail, so just continue crocheting with it. Finish all double crochets with this color first. When completing the last stitch of the first color, switch to the second color. Just like before, yarn over, thread it through, then pull out. Pull through up to this point, it's an incomplete double crochet. Switch to the new yarn from here. Pinch this yarn tail and place it to the side. Then take the corresponding yarn of the second color. Place it behind, pinch both sides, and yarn over. Pass directly through both loops. The color change is done. Place this yarn tail flat on this side. Yarn over again, and start crocheting the next row of double crochets with the new color. Just like the first color, work a full row of double crochets with this color. Crochet until the corresponding position to switch to the third color. Place the starting yarn tail at the back for now. We'll secure all ends together later. The yarn tail left from the previous color change should stay on this side. Although this side appears as the right side of the double crochets, it's actually the wrong side of the entire garment piece. Meaning, When the garment is worn, this side faces inward. Let's add a stitch marker on top first. You can hook it onto any double crochet stitch, mainly to mark that this side is the wrong side of the whole garment. All future color change yarn tails will stay on this side, not the other side. Now finish crocheting the double crochets with the second color. Once this color's double crochets are completed, switch colors just like before. When making the last stitch, first create an incomplete double crochet. Pinch it, then take the corresponding yarn for the third color. Yarn over and pull through once. The color change is done. Leave this yarn tail on the same side as well. Continue crocheting with the third color in the same way. Make a double crochet until the end. Once the last stitch is completed, this row is finished. All the yarn tails from color changes are on the side with the stitch marker, which is the wrong side of the garment. During actual crocheting, the stitch count for these three colors is evenly distributed. I have more stitches in the middle, and fewer on the sides here to demonstrate the pattern later. Since each size is different, the pattern will vary. For children's small size, it's a square of one color with one flower inside. For children's large size and adult size, it's a square of one color with 2 rows of flowers inside. I made the color squares uneven to show how the pattern is distributed. When you crochet, follow the corresponding chart. Each square has the same number of stitches and the same pattern distribution. For demonstration purposes here, they're not even. This distinction helps you see the pattern distribution across different sizes. The crocheting method is the same, only the stitch intervals and number of flowers differ. Now let's work the first row of the pattern. Make 2 beginning chains, then turn. Work a double crochet in the stitch of the first double crochet, which is the stitch of the last double crochet from the previous row, before working the flowers. Work several double crochets first. The exact amount follows the corresponding chart. After completing several double crochets, work the flower. Skip 3 stitches, then work the flower in the stitch of the 4th stitch. While working, you can slightly pinch the stitches. This prevents pulling it upwards so the bottom stays flat. First yarn over and thread it through this stitch. Work an incomplete double crochet. Then yarn over again. In the same position, work another incomplete stitch. Now there are 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through them one by one. That completes 1 petal. Then work 3 chain stitches as a space. Don't pull too tight when working. Keep it loose so the bottom won't wrinkle easily. Then work the second petal in the same position. It's also an incomplete double crochet. Pull through both incomplete stitches at once. Then 3 chain stitches as a space. The third petal is still in the same position. When pulling this incomplete double crochet, you can slightly enlarge the loop, for the same reason, so the bottom won't wrinkle easily. This completes 1 flower. Then yarn over and skip 3 stitches. Work a double crochet in the 4th stitch position. Continue working double crochets correspondingly, and switch colors here. Leave the last stitch incomplete, then switch colors. This is the yarn tail from the previous row, when switching colors. You can pull it over first and pinch it together. Then wrap the yarn around your hand to carry the thread. Pinch both sides and yarn over. Pull through both loops one by one. Now the color is switched. The yarn tail that was just switched out, just leave it on this side. Now you can see the marker spot is at the back. So the back is the wrong side. All switched out yarn tails should be placed on the wrong side. Pull the yarn tail to the back. Then continue crocheting with the next color. Start with 2 double crochets first. Then begin crocheting the flower. Let me demonstrate the flower technique again. Skip 3 chains, work on the 4th stitch. Make an incomplete double crochet. 2 incomplete stitches, slightly loosen them. This is the first petal. Then 3 chain stitches between them. The second petal. Skip 3 chain stitches again. This completes one flower. This square demonstrates the crocheting method for 2 rows of flowers, in children's large size and adult size. After finishing one flower, skip 3 chains, make a double crochet on the 4th stitch. Several double crochets will be between 2 flowers. After completing the double crochets between them, crochet another flower, still skip 3 chains. Make 3 petals on the stitch of the 4th chain. This completes the second flower. Then skip 3 chains again, make a double crochet, switch to the 3rd color. When changing colors, make an incomplete double crochet. Pay attention to distinguish the wrong side. Pull this yarn tail to the back. Continue crocheting with the next color, following the crocheting method for the next color. Same as the first color, first make a double crochet, then crochet a flower, followed by another double crochet, until the end. The last stitch is made on the stitch of the first double crochet from the previous row. Ignore the 2 chain turning chain as it does not count as a stitch. This completes the first row of the pattern. These are previous yarn tails that will be secured later, so ignore them for now. We can see all these color change yarn tails are on the side with stitch markers added to the back, which is the wrong side. When wearing the garment later, this side will be inside, meaning the flowers face outward, serving as the right side of the garment. For children's small size, each color block contains only one flower. For children's large size and adult sizes, each color block contains 2 rows of flowers. This creates 2 rows of flowers. The crocheting method remains the same, only the number of double crochets between flowers and the flower count varies. Just follow the pattern chart for your specific size. Now let's work on the second row of this pattern. Make a 2-chain turning chain, then turn your work. You turn the piece after completing each row. In each double crochet stitch from the previous row, work a double crochet 1-to-1 correspondence. When reaching the flower position, make 3 chain stitches as spacing. Then pick up 3 petals, working into the middle petals stitch. Make a single crochet, no yarn over needed for this technique. Just thread it through the stitch and pull the yarn through. Then yarn over and pull through both loops to complete the single crochet. Next make 3 chain stitches as spacing. Yarn over and work double crochets 1-to-1 correspondence up to this point to switch colors. The color switching method remains the same, work an incomplete stitch. Now the yarn tail is already on the wrong side, so no need to pull it to the back, just leave it on the wrong side. Then move on to the next color. This is the visible trace of the color change on the back side. This is the wrong side of the garment, while on the right side there's no visible trace at all. This yarn tail remains completely hidden on the right side, so it doesn't matter, just leave it as is. At the flower position, make 3 chain stitches. Then work into the middle petal stitch. Make a single crochet, followed by 3 chain stitches. Work double crochets, 1-to-1 correspondence into the space chain stitches. At the flower position, make 3 chain stitches. Into the middle petals stitch. A single crochet, followed by 3 chain stitches. Work double crochets into the double crochet stitches. For the last stitch, switch colors. Leave the yarn tail on the wrong side. Crochet with the next color. Continue like this until completion. The final stitch is worked into the first double crochet stitch of the previous row. Ignore the beginning chain. This is the wrong side, then we turn the fabric over. This completes one pattern repeat. This pattern repeat consists of a 2-row sequence. First, crochet the first row with the flower pattern, then work the second row back. These 2 rows form one complete sequence. The double crochets for the next row are worked into the double crochet stitches. The flower is worked into the single crochet stitches from the previous row. Now I'll demonstrate this. Same as before, a 2-chain beginning chain. Turn, and continue working double crochets into the double crochet positions. Now it's time to work the flowers. All flowers are worked into the single crochet stitches from the previous row. The crocheting method is the same as before. After completing this flower, the adjacent stitches are double crochets. Work double crochets correspondingly into each stitch. Switch colors at the last stitch. This yarn tail is on the right side, so pull it to the wrong side. Continue with the next color. The crocheting method remains the same. Complete this row first. After finishing this row, as usual, make a beginning chain, then turn the workpiece. Crochet the second row of this pattern repeat. Work double crochets into the double crochets. When reaching the flower position, make 3 chain stitches as intervals. Work a single crochet into the middle petals stitch. The next row's flower will be crocheted into this single crochet stitch, same method. Then 3 chain stitch intervals. Continue with double crochets, switch colors, when reaching the position. Complete this row first. After finishing this row, the second repeat of this pattern is completed. This is the right side. Pattern A repeats every 2 rows. The number of repeats varies by size. Different sizes, baby, child, or adult, have different numbers of flowers. But the working method remains the same, only the number of double crochets between motifs changes. Color switching method is identical for all sizes. Follow the chart carefully to avoid missed stitches. Remember, all yarn tails should be on the wrong side, the side with stitch markers. That's all you need to know. For demonstration purposes, we'll stop here. After completing these pattern repeats, work one row of double crochets, just like the first row we demonstrated earlier. After completing this row of double crochets, pattern A is completely finished. Work double crochets into each stitch of the double crochet row. When reaching the chain position, work double crochets correspondingly, but don't pick up the chain stitch loop. We work chains into the chain stitch loops, where you can actually see a V-shaped loop. This is the chain stitch loop, and the lower strand is called the back loop. It's difficult to thread through directly. So for this chain stitch loop, first pick up the half stitch with your hook, and pull it through in this direction. Then, in this direction, pick up the back loop. Turning it like this is equivalent to threading through the stitch. Then work a double crochet. This makes it much easier to crochet. Instead of picking up the chain space directly, we pick up the chain stitch loop, because picking up the chain stitch loop makes the row look neater. Let me demonstrate again. Pull through the half stitch. Then pick up the back loop. Now it's threaded through the stitch. Time to work a double crochet. This makes it much easier to crochet. If you poke directly, it's not easy to get into the stitch. Like this, pull and pick, then thread through. Three single crochets correspond to 3 double crochets. At the single crochet, also work a double crochet into the single crochet stitch. At the chain side, work double crochets evenly into each stitch as before. At the color change position, switch to the next color yarn as usual. Next, follow the same crocheting method to complete this row of double crochets. Once this row of double crochets is completed, pattern A ends. Then we chain and fasten off the yarn. Leave the other 2 yarn tails for weaving in later. Cut them off as well. This completes pattern A. After finishing pattern A, we'll move on to pattern B. Take a look at pattern B first. It consists of 11 rows total. Both the children's large size and adult versions follow this pattern, with only slight differences in decreasing stitches at the cuffs and neckline. Smaller children's sizes adjust row count based on garment length by removing corresponding rows. For example, these rows for the smallest size. Skip the first and last rows, and work only the middle section. For medium size, skip these 2 end rows. That means for pattern B, start directly with this row of double crochets separated by chains. These details will be shown in the chart instructions, just follow the chart. The sleeve decreasing part in pattern B varies slightly across sizes. Let me demonstrate the decreasing technique first, then refer to the chart for clarity. There are 4 decreasing methods used here. These two decrease 2 stitches. See how 3 stitches become 1 after decreasing. This one decreases 2 stitches. The next one decreases 1 stitch. 2 stitches become 1, then work the next stitch directly. Now I'll demonstrate these decreasing techniques first. This is the completed pattern A swatch. Let me show the decreasing methods first, then demonstrate pattern B's crocheting method. When working pattern B, you'll start sleeve decreases after just a few rows, so learn the decreasing methods first. Because pattern B requires inserting the hook after breaking the yarn, pay attention to right, wrong sides when inserting the hook. This side is right side, this is wrong side. For pattern B, you need to insert the hook on the right side. This fabric alternates rows, so this side is the wrong side. Pattern B's first row must be worked on the right side. Bring the yarn over first. Ignore the turning chain. I'll demonstrate the 2-stitch decrease method. The 2-stitch decrease technique is a triple double crochet decrease. First, make an incomplete double crochet. Then yarn over and pull through the adjacent stitch to create another incomplete stitch. Then on the next adjacent stitch, make another incomplete stitch. Now there are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over once, and pull through all loops. That's completed. This decrease turns 3 stitches into 1. This is a decrease method. This decrease technique is similar to the previous one. Also make an incomplete double crochet. Then skip the adjacent stitch, leave it unworked. On the next stitch, make an incomplete double crochet. Now pull through all 3 loops on the hook sequentially. It combines 3 stitches into 1, first, second, third stitch. This technique turns 3 double crochets into 1 stitch. Actually it's 2 double crochets decreased with 1 skipped stitch in between. So it becomes 3 stitches decreased to 1. These are 2 methods for decreasing 2 stitches. Now let's look at the decrease method for reducing 1 stitch. The first method is 2 double crochets decreased to 1 stitch. This is making an incomplete double crochet. Then make an incomplete stitch in the adjacent stitch. Then pull through all the loops on the hook sequentially. This combines 2 stitches into 1, effectively decreasing 1 stitch. This is the first method. Now let's look at this technique. First, make a complete double crochet. Then skip the adjacent stitch, leave it unworked. Then move on to the next stitch. Work a double crochet, skip 1 stitch, then work the next stitch directly, and continue crocheting afterward. This leaves only 1 stitch where there were 2, which is decreasing 1 stitch by skipping a stitch. The decrease methods used for the cuffs and neckline later are these 4 types. The positions and quantities used for different sizes vary. Some start decreasing here, some start decreasing there. Or some decrease 3 sets of 2 stitches, decrease 2 single stitches. Or some decrease 4 sets of 2 stitches, or decrease 1 single stitch. These quantities differ, but the methods are the same, just the 4 techniques demonstrated earlier. When crocheting, refer to the chart. When you see these symbols, use the corresponding method to crochet. Just follow this chart to crochet. For the neckline section, the front body neckline has a special decrease. There are decreases of 2 stitches and 3 stitches, as well as decreases of 2 stitches and 1 stitch. The neckline here needs to be matched up with the adjacent color, so you'll encounter these decreases. Or this decrease is double colored, requiring 2 colors to work one decrease stitch. I'll explain and demonstrate it in detail when we get there. Otherwise, nothing special, just follow the corresponding chart. When you see these symbols, use the methods you just learned, and crochet accordingly. Now let's work on pattern B. For pattern B, I'll demonstrate one row for each type, so you know how to crochet it without completing all 11 rows. Let's look at this row first. This first row is the same as the first and last rows of pattern A. Which means working even double crochets, mainly paying attention to the direction of inserting the hook. The wrong side of the last row of pattern A faces you. Insert the hook from this end, 2 chains. Then start working even double crochets. At this point, you can weave in those 2 yarn tails. For pattern B, which color to start with is indicated on the chart. Use the corresponding color yarn to crochet and continue with double crochets. Crochet until reaching the color change position, then switch to the second color. Then crochet until the next color change position, switch to the third color. The corresponding colors are marked on the chart. Please complete this row accordingly. Okay, this row is completed. All colors have been switched. Now let's crochet the next row. This row consists of double crochets separated by chain stitches. Make 2 turning chains and turn the work piece. First, work a double crochet in the first double crochet stitch. Then make a chain stitch. Then skip 1 stitch, leave it unworked. Work a double crochet in the third stitch. Make a chain stitch, then skip 1 stitch. In this stitch, work a double crochet. The pattern for this row is 1 double crochet, 1 chain stitch, skip 1 stitch, then 1 double crochet, 1 chain stitch, skip 1 stitch. Continue until only 2 stitches remain at the end. First make a chain stitch, then skip 1 stitch, same as before. Here also work a double crochet, but when making this double crochet, start with an incomplete double crochet, pay attention to switch colors. The method for switching colors remains the same. Note, this is the right side. So pull the yarn tail to the back. When reaching the second color block, the first stitch is also a double crochet. Then start the sequence, chain stitch, skip stitch, repeating this pattern. This sequence doesn't repeat across the entire row. Instead, it repeats within each color block. So each block begins and ends with a double crochet. With open spaces alternating in the middle. So the color change position has 2 double crochets together. This double crochet is the last stitch of the previous block. This double crochet is the first stitch of the next block. Same thing happens on this side. Switch colors when making the last double crochet. Work 1 double crochet as the first stitch, then start the sequence, ending with a double crochet to complete this row. This row is worked this way, if it's for a children's medium size. Pattern B's first row follows this row's method. The crocheting technique remains the same. Just pay attention to 2 points. One is starting with a new chain. Insert the hook in alternating directions, one right side, one wrong side. Also, all yarn tails from color changes should be left on the wrong side. Just remember these 2 points. Now I'll demonstrate. This row follows the same crocheting method as the previous row. The next 2 rows are worked the same as this row, and this row is the same as that row, same crocheting method. No need to repeat the demonstration. Let me demonstrate the crocheting method for this row. This sequence is independent within each color block, not across the entire fabric piece. So each color block has a double crochet at both the beginning and end. Let's start with a double crochet. Because all sizes begin decreasing for the cuffs when working this row. So the first 2 stitches at both ends of each color block should be worked as decreases instead of the first double crochet. First work 2 beginning chains. Then work a decrease of 2 stitches. First work an incomplete stitch. Then, because this is an open work pattern, so for the first decrease we also work this open work decrease, which is a double crochet decrease with 1 skipped stitch in between. We've already worked 1 incomplete stitch here, skip the middle stitch, chain and work a completed stitch in the next stitch, then pull through all loops. This effectively decreases 3 stitches into 1, reducing 2 stitches. For this side's cuff decrease, it corresponds to this pattern, the first double crochet. Now begin working the triangle pattern. Here also work this decrease with 1 skip chain in between. Work an incomplete stitch at the same position. Then skip 1 chain stitch. Do the same at the next position. This completes the first triangle pattern, then work a chain space. Move on to the next pattern. Another chain space, continue working until the end. After completing the last triangle pattern, we reach the final stitch. In this last stitch, don't work a chain space in the middle. Simply work a double crochet. While working, switch colors. This side is the wrong side, so leave the yarn tail here. In the first stitch of the next color, work a double crochet. As shown in the chart, both beginning and ending have 2 double crochets. There's no chain space between the double crochets at the beginning, end and the triangle pattern. Only the middle patterns have chain spaces. So the last stitch and this triangle have no chain space between them. But there is a chain space between it and each triangle pattern. This is also a single stitch like the triangle pattern, with no space between them. Because this triangle pattern actually replaces the first double crochet stitch, so it doesn't count as one of the middle triangle patterns. Since it replaces the first double crochet, there's no chain space between it and the first triangle pattern. This is all shown in the chart. Please pay attention not to add extra stitches. For the middle square, no decreasing is needed, just follow the pattern. Both ends are single double crochets, work the triangle pattern in the middle and complete it. After completing this row, I've already marked the lines. You can see it's exactly the same as the chart now. Both ends are single double crochets, with no chain space between the double crochet and the first triangle. There's a chain space between each triangle pattern, just work this row normally. After switching colors here, Start normally as well. No chain space at the beginning. Then there are spaces later. Keep working like this. When 3 stitches remain at the end, make a decrease stitch. Stop here, leaving 2 stitches empty after this point. Since the last double crochet is actually in the same stitch as this diagonal stitch, so here it's equivalent to skipping 3 stitches. Normally the last one would be a double crochet, but here like the beginning. Work a decrease stitch instead of the double crochet, no chain space needed in the middle. The decrease method remains the same as before. Skip 1 stitch, and this decrease stitch is completed. This decrease stitch replaces that single double crochet. This row is finished. You can see 2 stitches have been decreased on both sides here. Here it's already diagonal. This is the sleeve cuff decrease. Then starting from here, every row's beginning and ending both sides will require decrease stitches. Decrease 2 stitches or 1 stitch, follow the pattern chart. Next row, chain 2 first, then work a decrease stitch. Since this is also an open work pattern, work this type of open work decrease. First work an incomplete double crochet on this stitch. Then skip 1 stitch, on the next stitch. This stitch corresponds to the chain stitch from the previous row. Work as taught before. It's equivalent to working through the stitch. This is a 2-stitch decrease. This stitch also replaces that first double crochet. Then comes a chain stitch interval. Then skip 1 stitch. Next, work a double crochet on the chain stitch, then skip 1. Continue this pattern all the way down the row. When you reach the end of one color, switch colors on the last stitch. Tuck the yarn tail to the wrong side, and keep crocheting until the end. First complete a double crochet, then make a chain stitch. Normally it would be another double crochet at the end, but since we need to decrease, so replace it with a 2-stitch decrease here. This double crochet has a chain stitch interval in the middle, so the final position here should skip 4 stitches. Then skip 1 stitch below the chain stitch interval. Work a decrease stitch over the last 3 stitches. First make an incomplete stitch, then skip 1 stitch. On the last stitch, also make an incomplete stitch. This completes the final decrease stitch, then move to the next row. Now you can see where the decreases started earlier. It has gradually slanted upward to this point, which forms the cuff section. Crochet the next row as solid double crochets instead of open work. So work double crochets with 3 stitch decreases. The next stitch is a chain stitch. Simply pick, pull, and pick again. Then thread it through the stitch. Make an incomplete stitch. Then another incomplete stitch. This completes the 3-stitch decrease. For the following stitches, whether chain stitches or double crochets, work double crochets corresponding to each one. Finish this row. Keep crocheting until only 3 stitches remain at the end. Make another 3-stitch decrease. Then this row is completed. So far for the first 3 rows, we've been decreasing 2 stitches. For this next row, let me demonstrate the single stitch decrease technique. I won't repeat the demonstration for this row, I'll just crochet it now. First make 2 chain stitches, then in the same stitch, work a complete double crochet. Then skip this stitch, leave it unworked. Next in the following stitch, work a double crochet, that's it. This decrease means we've worked only 1 stitch over these 2 stitches. This is simply skipping, and moving on to the next stitch. This is the decrease method. Here, 3 stitches become 2, which means we've decreased 1 stitch. This decrease stitch is equivalent to starting with a double crochet. Then next comes a chain stitch. Then skip 1 stitch, followed by another double crochet. Then another chain stitch, skip 1 stitch, and a double crochet. Repeat this sequence, switch colors when needed, and complete the entire row. At the end of this row, finish with the same decrease stitch. First work a regular double crochet. Then skip 1 stitch, leave it unworked, then move on to the next stitch. This also effectively decreases 1 stitch. Now we'll work this row. Using this decrease method for the decreases in this row, it's 2 double crochets worked together as one. Make an incomplete double crochet in the first stitch. Then in the next stitch over, make another incomplete double crochet, pulling through all loops at once to decrease 1 stitch. Then continue working into each stitch. Whether chain stitches or double crochet stitches, working double crochets across. Switch colors when you reach the color change point, keeping the yarn tail on the wrong side. Complete this row until there are 2 stitches left. Work 1 decrease stitch to finish the row. Ending the decrease demonstration here. Chain 1, then cut the yarn. For other areas, leave enough yarn tail for weaving in ends and trim it off. Pattern B is now completed. The decrease positions and stitch counts here are random. All sleeve cuff decreases happen in pattern B. When moving to pattern C, no more decreases will be made. Take the corresponding color yarn, insert the hook, and begin crocheting. Pattern C is worked in sequence, 1 row of double crochets followed by 1 row of V-shaped lace motifs. The double crochet technique remains the same as before. In pattern C, work even without decreases. This V-shaped decrease has 4 possible combinations. Each color block starts and ends with 2 double crochets. 1 double crochet at each end, totaling 2 double crochets. The difference lies only in the chain stitches. Some have no chains in between, some have chains here, and others have chains here and here. Some have no chains here but chains there, making 4 combinations in total. This mainly adjusts the stitch count to match pattern B's stitch count while keeping the overall effect consistent. Just follow the corresponding chart carefully, making sure not to miss or add extra stitches. Let's start by crocheting the first row of double crochets. Since we've cut the yarn before, now take the corresponding color yarn tail, and insert the hook again. When inserting the hook, pay attention to right, wrong side, alternating rows face opposite directions. This side is wrong side, so next row should be right side facing you when inserting hook. With no decreases needed, work even by crocheting 1 double crochet into each stitch. While crocheting, tuck in the yarn tails neatly. When reaching color change position, switch colors as usual. Place the yarn tail on the wrong side of the fabric. Complete this row according to the corresponding color and stitch count. Now that the first row of pattern C is finished, let's crochet the second row of V motifs. According to the stitch count, the 2 color blocks on both sides of my swatch are crocheted this way, while the middle color block is crocheted this way. You don't need to calculate by stitch count, the chart will clearly show which pattern to follow. Just crochet exactly as shown in the chart. First make a double crochet at both beginning and ending. I need to make a chain space here, and skip 2 stitches next to it. Then make a V motif, first a double crochet, then a chain stitch. Then another double crochet in the same spot to complete the V motif. Followed by a chain stitch, skip 2 stitches, and make a double crochet at the last stitch position. While switching colors, leave the yarn tail on the wrong side. Okay, after completing the first double crochet here, no chain space needed, just make the V motif directly. At this point, skip 1 stitch in the middle. Then there should be a chain space between each V motif. Below that, skip 3 stitches before making the next V motif. Then another chain space, and continue making the next one until the end. When 2 stitches remain, skip 1 stitch. Make the last double crochet while switching colors, finish it first. Okay, after completing the last stitch here, switch to the next color. It becomes this shape again. Make a double crochet, then a chain space is needed in the middle. Skip 2 stitches, and make a V motif. Then another chain stitch, skip 2 stitches. Make a double crochet on the last stitch, finish. Everyone can follow the pattern chart for crocheting. The method is the same, only the chain space intervals differ. Just check the chart carefully, no missing or extra stitches, and you'll be fine. 1 row of double crochets followed by 1 row of V motifs forms a sequence. Different sizes have different quantities of this sequence. Let's finish this sequence first. Here I've completed 2 sequences. For the second sequence, this row of double crochets corresponds to the stitches of the V motif below. Make double crochets into double crochet stitches, and chain stitches into chain stitches. Just work correspondingly, and this forms one sequence after another. Different sizes also have different quantities of sequences. I'm only demonstrating the crocheting method here, so I won't make too many, just 2 sequences. Then, like pattern A, we'll finish with one row of double crochets as the ending. Here's something to note. This row of double crochets only has color blocks on both sides where we need to make a row of double crochets. The middle part should be left unworked to create space for the neckline. First chain 2, then turn over normally. Then work double crochets correspondingly into the color blocks. Be mindful not to miss any stitches, there's still one chain stitch between these two. So make a double crochet into its stitch as well. When you reach the last stitch here, you don't need to switch colors like before. Just make one complete double crochet, then chain 1 and cut the yarn. The row of double crochets above the middle color block should be left unworked. Insert the hook directly into the adjacent block. This is the yarn left from the previous color switch. After inserting the hook, simply pull over the yarn tail left from the previous color switch. Start a new foundation chain. Just like before, work double crochets correspondingly to complete this row. After finishing this row, chain 1 and cut the yarn directly. The middle color block wasn't worked with double crochets. Just like before, leave a long yarn tail, and cut the yarn directly. This creates space for the middle neckline, and the back body is now completed. Now I'll briefly demonstrate how to weave in all these yarn tails. For example, this yarn tail is next to the right side of a row of double crochets. First, use the sewing needle to pick up 2 stitches like this. Weave through the length of several double crochets. Then thread the yarn tail into the sewing needle and pull. Now this yarn tail is hidden. Simply cut it off. For this one, like the one below, the row of double crochets next to it is on the wrong side. We can flip it to the right side. Now, the double crochets here next to it are all on the right side. Same thing, pick up these 2 strands and weave them in. Hide it at this position since it's less likely to slip out. Then just cut it off here too. Since this is the right side of the garment, You can flip it back to the wrong side. Then break the yarn on the wrong side so it's less visible. Same for the rest. For those with extra long yarn tails already hooked in, just cut them off directly. For the others, just follow the method I just showed, and weave them all in. Now we'll crochet the front piece. The front piece follows the same crocheting method as the back piece, until dividing for the neckline left and right sections. This is a fabric piece I've already crocheted in advance. It's pattern A, then pattern B, and decrease stitches, where needed on both sides, until starting to divide the front neckline left and right sections. Before dividing, place a stitch marker at the center square of this color and count the stitches. Count to the exact middle stitch and add a stitch marker. This stitch will be skipped when crocheting the neckline. Now we'll start crocheting this half piece. Don't cut the yarn and continue crocheting directly to this side. Crochet the next row as instructed, continue decreasing stitches where needed. Follow the same method as the back piece, crochet up to this point. Keep crocheting normally up to here, change colors as usual, same as the back piece. When reaching this point, skip this stitch, leave unworked. Meaning this half piece only requires crocheting this section. The middle area near the neckline center also needs gradual decreases, so the front side follows the pattern normally, while the back side must leave space for decrease positions. The chart will show all details, just follow the pattern chart directly. In my case, when reaching the stitch count at the end, I skip one stitch. Then crochet one decrease, 2 stitches together. This counts as 3 stitches, then decreases 2 stitches. It's also a method for decreasing 2 stitches. Since I'm working with random stitch counts here, the decrease methods or stitch counts for decreases are random. Follow the pattern chart for your specific size. Just crochet according to the symbols shown in the chart. It doesn't have to match mine exactly, I'm just demonstrating the crocheting method. Like here, 3 stitches become 1, meaning 2 stitches decreased. Then skip the next stitch on that side, we'll move directly to the next row. Turn your work. Same decrease method. This side is the front half piece. The neckline side keeps decreasing continuously, while the sleeve side stops decreasing after completing pattern B, just like the back piece. Now finish crocheting the pattern B section first. Still decreasing 2 stitches by working 3 together here. Keep crocheting across. When crocheting this row, switch colors as usual where needed. At the sleeve edge position, where decreases are required at the end, decrease stitches normally just like on the back piece. Then move on to the next row. The decreases on this side are the same as the back piece. Follow the pattern and crochet across. Switch colors as usual where needed. Keep crocheting until this position. Continue decreasing. Make a decrease here just like before. Follow the chart for crocheting. For the final decreases on both sides, keep decreasing the square of the middle color. Decrease until it's fully incorporated into the edge color, meaning the entire section gets decreased out. If you can't finish decreasing in pattern B, switch colors to pattern C and continue decreasing. For children's small size, decreases in pattern B are completed here, but medium, large, or adult sizes will continue decreasing in pattern C. We've already decreased several times here, all by decreasing 2 stitches. Then continue decreasing upwards. It's a diagonal decrease across one row. I'll decrease 2 more stitches here. The actual decrease method will be clearly marked on the corresponding chart. Just follow the chart for crocheting, because the techniques are always limited to these few methods. Up to this point, pattern B is completed. First, cut the yarn on this side. Since the decreases aren't finished here, we'll continue decreasing in pattern C later. Let's finish pattern B on this side first. Take the corresponding color yarn, which is the yarn for the middle square. Insert the hook into the stitch adjacent to the stitch marker. Decrease the same way as before, it should match correspondingly. Crochet symmetrically on both sides. Continue crocheting all the way to this side. When coming across the next row below, after switching colors, this yarn isn't cut off. Then, after crocheting up to this point, connect this yarn. Continue crocheting toward this side, decrease stitches as needed, and finish it first.